Thank you for tuning in on Cop with Comic. I'm Brian Koppen with Comic Hallie Haas. Hallie Haas, how the hell are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for coming on. I know I follow you on social. That's where you're bringing the funny during quarantine. And you were Hallie K. Haas at Twitter, and you're Hallie Haas at Instagram, where I see this Colby Smith fella who's a former guest.
Colby Smith, former guest, current boyfriend of me.
Yes. I'm glad you said of me, because you're like, well, it's your current guest, but it wasn't your boyfriend, Brian.
Yeah,
So let me say my,
exactly.
my boyfriend. Your former guest, my
My current
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Yeah, while Hallie Haas is my current guest.
Yes, exactly.
So,
And
so you do characters and stuff on Instagram?
I do.
Okay, so that's where we can see your funny videos in the meantime.
That's exactly where you can go. I would go to Instagram, go to Twitter. They're on both. They're there. They're on my website. Or you could try to track me down in person, and I'll throw on a wig for you.
Yes, yes, and of course we will when this whole quarantine thing ends. And so have you been on Colby Smith's radio show?
I have. It's funny actually. He reminded me this recently that we were supposed to go into studio like the weekend that New York shut down. That Sunday, we were supposed to go in, and I had to like beg him not to go because I was like, things are starting. We can't go and like be in this close recording studio. And he was so sad. But then it turned out it was like the 15th of March, right? Do you remember that
Yeah,
weekend?
I totally remember it.
Yeah, so but I've popped in like remotely on a few since then. But he hasn't had me as a singular guest yet, so I don't know what that's about.
Wait, what the hell? Yeah, I hate to fucking see that. And I was looking on his feed and I didn't see Hallie Haas, but I looked on Hallie Haas's feed and there was Colby Smith. So,
I know.
I hate to see that. And if anybody can bring the pain and the funny, it's going to be Hallie Haas. So I can't wait till the chickens come home to roost all over Colby Smith's face.
That's how I feel too. I'm a little bit like let's just use this podcast as a way to get out the word that Colby needs to be more public about
Yes.
our love and our relationship.
Fuck that Colby Smith guy. Now it's so fun because I can relate to his anguish when that happened, the whole March 15th or whatever,
Yeah.
because I had, maybe 8 to 10 comedians booked on a Saturday, 8 to 10 on a Sunday, and the cancellations, which are normally, I don't know, 1 or 2 people rescheduling on the Saturday, maybe 3 or 4, rescheduled. And then on Sunday, like 6 out of 8 rescheduled. And so that's when I knew that this was not sustainable. And I think, Saturday night was the night where they called off the NBA.
Yeah.
And if anything kind of drives the point home that this shit is fucking serious and different, it's the fact that they canceled a whole sport.
That is definitely true. Although, I don't watch basketball, but, sorry to bring him back up again, but Cole does. And he was like, I was like watching he was watching on his phone. I don't know if you've watched their like pod game or whatever it is, the dome. Where are they? They're in the like hermetically.
Oh, the bubble. Yeah, the bubble.
The bubble. And it's so, it just must be so weird to like perform is not the word, play for like no one. And then these weird, like the digitized fan thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I clearly don't know anything about this, but I was just like that. I can't imagine. I guess my analogy would be like performing live in a play or like performing comedy live. And then there's no one there to see it. And then they like pipe in like fake fans. That would be so hard.
Or I think they might even be real fans. I don't know, but yeah, it's changing the whole game in that now they're even calling more fouls because they can hear the fouls. They can actually hear somebody slap somebody's arm, and also like the whole taunting each other and people taunting each other from the bench. Like now, the ref can hear all that. But even funnier is like the fact that a point guard like Chris Paul, he can call out all the other side's plays and everybody can hear it. So like against the Celtics, he just fucking owned it because he was calling out their defensive coverages, etc. So it's actually changing the game there. But as far as changing the game, Hallie Haas is changing the character game and bringing it with
back.
The amazing segue into our current topic, which is the characters that are coming out of the beautiful brains of Mulaney and Kroll, and we both like some or all of both their products.
We like their products.
Yeah.
I just started watching Big Mouth because it's kind of exciting. Well, whatever. I'm getting started in VO, and I was like, I should watch some adult animation to kind of get the vibe here.
Oh yeah.
and it's so fun. And I think like I don't know about you, but I feel like I forget that when I like a comedian's sensibility, that I'm probably gonna like everything they make.
Yeah.
Because I saw people talking about Big Mouth, and I've never been like, I never watched The Simpsons or Family Guy really, so I haven't had like a lot of
Yeah, me too. Me too.
yeah,
It's a turn off. I don't watch any of that shit.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, this stuff is like kind of silly, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I watched this, and I was like, this is so funny. It's so them. The characters are so big, and it's also really sweet, which I feel
Yeah.
like is the kind of Mulaney Kroll thing. Is that it's rooted in humanity, if you will.
Yeah, and I don't know. It sounds like Mulaney's an asshole in real life. Like he'll admit as much because he, in the Oh Hello thing that we both like, they're saying their characters are actually like them in real life, where Kroll is more baby like and Mulaney is more asshole like in real life. And even watching his comedians in cars with Seinfeld, he does come off like a bit of an asshole because I think he's just smarter and funnier than some people, and so he probably has low tolerance for unoriginality.
I love that. That's a great understatement
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
millennium. Yeah, he's just. I feel like some people, I would say,
yeah,
he has it over on.
yeah.
I
More.
thought it was so funny watching Oh Hello because they're a really fun duo because they really have such different skill sets. Like Mulaney is so smart and hilarious, but let's be honest, isn't maybe the most versatile performer.
Right.
Um, as much as Kroll is. So I thought it
Yeah.
was just watching them, especially when they improvise, just to watch like Mulaney just, like absolutely nail, but then like nail every line, but Kroll kind of carry the like hilarious physical comedy and
Yeah.
just huge kind of bombastic characterness of it. I enjoy seeing that because it felt like they boost each other up in different ways.
Yeah, and maybe the humanity comes through Kroll on Oh Hello, and then maybe Big Mouth is so humane because it's Kroll and his best friend growing up. Like,
Yeah,
what's his name? Mulaney is just playing one of the voiceover parts. And
right.
so but by this or in the same token, the other side of the token is, like Mulaney, because he's so smart and funny and doesn't have to be versatile. His stand-up specials are he's rapidly rising on my list of stand-ups because of the consistent quality of his Netflix specials. Whereas somebody like Kroll, you see some of his clips on when he was doing stand up back in the day for Comedy Central, and it's like, I don't know. And in the same way, he was on the Fantasy Football League show, The League.
Oh yeah.
And I like Fantasy Football League. I like some of those people. So I mean, The League is fine, but it's not one of my favorite shows like it is My Friends because some of his talents are wasted if he's just playing straight.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, that's what's so fun about Big Mouth is that I love like kind of just trying to hear which characters he's playing because he's playing so many different characters. And
Yeah.
as a character performer myself, I'm like, this is a great vehicle. It's like, why not make a show where you can play as many characters as you want because they're all drawn.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's such a great delivery device for voice, and I think I mentioned it to Lucas Arnold, who's a pretty good vocal artist, and he was like, "Well, I have been on some cartoons and things, but man, it would be great if we had the Hallie Haas and we had the Elise Morales and the Lucas Arnold, all of these people, skilled voiceover artists, who are able to kind of just get their own thing going, and all they have to do that is rope in an animator because you guys have
Yeah.
writing skills, you guys have voiceover skills, and just you guys are hilarious, but." You just need the animator, and I think that's where all the money is, right? You got to pay these guys so much fucking money because it's kind of painstaking.
Oh my God, it's got to be painstaking.
Yeah,
I
and
got to
they're
befriend an animator and fast.
yeah, and and it's like a drummer in a band. They're just pulled in so many directions because there's so few of them, and
Right.
everybody needs one. And
I
so,
didn't know that. Are drummers hard to come by?
well, they're just in 5 bands at once, and so they're notoriously unreliable because they don't feel they have a stake in any of the bands because they don't write. So they're
Right,
like, I can show up, I can provide the beat, but I can also do that for 5 different bands. And
right.
so when they're not getting laid all day long, and I'm sure Colby Smith has the same problem. But like the Colby Smiths of the music community are the drummers, and they're just getting laid constantly. And it takes a strong woman to fucking nail them down, and that's what Hallie Haas is doing with our Kolb About Town.
I gotta keep Kolb about town, and that's my.
Yeah,
But
you
to
have to.
be honest, no, Colby's a. I want to make it clear that Colby's a fine, upstanding gentleman,
Oh
and
yeah.
he keeps it really, really real.
Oh, good. Yeah, we love our former guests, and with our current guest, Hallie Haas. You know, what's your post quarantine hit the ground running project? Like, you know,
Ooh,
if it's not animation, is it going to be bringing your sketch characters live or what?
great question. You know what's funny is that I actually, having started doing these character videos in quarantine, has really made it clear to me that I really want to. That's what I want to focus on. So I feel like, I mean, I took a break during all the upheaval in our country to kind of let that take center stage, but I want to keep doing that, and hopefully once we get out of quarantine, I can, you know, pitch some video ideas to Comedy Central Digital and some other places, and I don't know, just keep working on film stuff. Although of course I will still be live, people. Don't worry, you can find me live.
You can, yeah, you
But
can catch around outside, but I think it's probably a safer career path to focus on video for the time being, because I think the time being is going to be pretty long, because even when they have the vaccine, it might not be too effective.
I think that's totally true. And it's like, you know, live performance, Broadway, and I mean, even like comedy theaters, I don't, who knows when those are going to open, but like production is slowly starting to happen again.
Yeah.
And so it feels, I mean, I feel lucky that it's what I want to be focusing on anyway. It would be so sad. Imagine you're like a, you know, seasoned Broadway performer and that's all you
Yeah.
do. And now your
Oh
like
yeah.
livelihood is completely, not only livelihood, but like your lifeblood, like the thing that makes you, so many performers, you know, don't feel like they're performers unless they're doing it, which
Yeah.
I
And
get that. Yeah.
yeah, that's why they're doing a Zoom, and they're doing it in parks and on rooftops. They just
Yeah.
have to be out there. And some of these people are a victim of their success. You know, they did it so well that they were paid for their day job of comedy and things like that, and now they're just kind of fucked. And so, you know, other people who were not as far along were able to keep their day job in certain instances, and so
Yeah.
those people could kind of fall back on that, and were not as desperate to have that kind of outlet. But as far as like characters that you like, because I've seen Big Mouth, let me know which of those characters is a Hallie Haas character. Like,
What?
what kind of characters can you do well? Which ones are you trying out? Which ones do you think you'd like to improve on, and which ones can't you do at all?
This is a great question. I love it.
Oh yeah,
Um, so, you know, this is funny. You know, I feel like my Big Mouth character hasn't been written yet, but
good
I
answer.
think that I could do a like Nick's, I feel like Nick's aunt would be a good role for me. Who, like, I don't know, maybe bi-coastal aunt, maybe she's living in Berkeley, California, and she's coming to Westchester, and she's really bringing the sophistication of the West Coast to the East Coast.
Wow, so you could do sophisticated well.
Yes, we've done a lot of talking about what I do well, and I've come to the conclusion that it's high status women are my wheelhouse.
And so they
So
have to have some sort of weakness, though. They have to have a vulnerability that we can empathize with.
that's true. Some kind of weakness. Well, maybe the weakness is they can't see past their own,
Snobbery.
yeah, their own snobbery or
Right.
what have you. Or but I also feel like a friend a la in maybe in the Devon's crew would be a kind of character I would have fun playing. If you recall, what's the name of the character that Kroll plays with the blonde hair? I can't remember her name.
Oh.
You know what I'm thinking about?
Oh, the girls, absolutely. Like at first, I was thinking, yeah, I know the girls, the kind of chubby girl.
Yeah.
Oh, she has a kind of, all these characters have their counterpart vocal on the Kroll show. So
Exactly.
that's his just chubby fat girl voice that he also plays. He's in drag on the Kroll show as that girl, and they have him and Jenny Slater, or what's her name?
Jenny Slate.
Yeah, Jenny Slate. Like they do it's publicity. Both their names are Liz, and they're just a PR firm that's just totally awful at their job. But
That
yeah,
is
so
so
you'd be good at that kind of that strong female.
strong
'Cause
female.
yeah,
Yeah. I would see the characters that I do not think I could do. I mean, here, well, let's be honest. I could do any character. Okay,
of course.
Brian, let's keep it. I can do any character, but my wheelhouse is really strong characters. So kind of lower status, more like bumbling or quieter characters, more subtle. could do it, but I'm not going to be the best choice for it because it doesn't like bring out my natural ability. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because some people are naturally good at bumbling, and you're not that.
Exactly. I feel like I could do it, but it just won't read the same way because it's not. One thing I've like learned a lot as I do this for longer is that it's not that you have to play close to who you are, but you have to if you're gonna be the best at the thing that feels the most natural, like it comes out of you. I don't know, it comes out of you freely, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, it's because that is your default mode to
Yeah.
be the strong female and not the wallflower.
Yeah, exactly.
And you enjoy playing it up with a wig on.
I enjoy playing it up with a wig on. It works for me, and it feels like that's the thing that is funniest when it comes out of my mouth and body. So that's what I like to focus on. I love, if we're gonna go a little more in Big Mouth, like I love what Maya Rudolph gets to do on that show because she gets to play she plays his mom, and then she also plays Jesse's hormone monster. And she gets she gets to do this kind of more lower key but like slinky fun mom character who's exploring her sexuality, and then this like hugely hilarious monster. I just like watching it. I'm just like, this is such a dream for character comedians and sketch comedians specifically to be able to stretch their what's the word where you have
their chops
range. Yeah, their chops.
Or their range. Yeah, and so like when you see something like that, do you automatically think, okay, what can I do for one of my Instagram videos that will be able to kind of harness the same energy without ripping it off?
Oh, interesting. When I see that like on Big Mouth or another.
Oh yeah, you're like, okay, well, I really like how she was just so big and maybe super slinky, like sexy. Is there any way I can, kind of incorporate that into a Hallie Haas character?
That's interesting. When I come up with characters, I don't come from. I probably should, but I usually am not coming from, what type of character do I want to play? Okay. So much as like, have I seen someone in public that made me inspired? Lately I've been trying to do that. It's just kind of think about what has made me laugh or I've like noticed in the world. I mean, it's harder to do now because of quarantine. But even so, like basing characters off of the people who are, people are acting wild these days because of a really weird situation.
Yeah, I would think that you could be good at one of those people flipping out in a Walmart.
I would love to. I haven't
that's big, right? That's kind of big, where they're just yelling there, like, get this camera out of here, like all that kind of BS.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not wearing my mask, and then they chuck all the Trader Joe's goods at the Trader Joe's employees on the way out.
That sounds really fun. I haven't seen these videos. I think I probably have to see them.
Oh, yeah, because I would think then you can surf the wave that is TikTok, because a lot of these comedians are like, yeah, man, I'm doing like this shit's blowing up. Other people are not so successful. But I think, as long as it has a liberal bent, an obviously liberal bent, and I just don't know. Sometimes when you're spoofing people on the right, though, people on TikTok might not fire it up because they think you're actually on the right.
So they're like, no. TikTok... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I have not TikToked yet. Like, I don't even have TikTok. I'm one. Do you think TikTok is like the next platform? Like, do you think it's going to be a necessary platform for?
Well, I guess what you can do is you can skip the whole thing and then go to the Facebook, Instagram ripoff, which is they just launched it right now. It's timed so fucking well. The TikTok competitor, I thought it was called Instagram Streams or something, where it's going to be. Oh, Reels, yeah. So you probably could do that and safely knowing that even if TikTok disappears, right?
What about Instagram Reels? Or what's the thing that they're offering? It's just that it's the shorter kind of loop. I honestly don't. Yeah. I'm totally aging myself.
Yeah, I don't know. It says it's short mobile, short form mobile videos. That's TikTok. And so I suppose it probably is looped like crazy, and maybe the distribution. It sounded like on TikTok, the For You screen was the place to be. Like, if you got on that, if you kind of rode a wave of similar videos, then they would suggest your video to everybody else. And the fact that I thought it was auto-played to the point where some of these makeup tutorials had billions of views or some shit. So I think because it's short and it's autoplay, maybe there's going to be a way for you to get on Instagram Reels and just be in all these suggested, you just want to make sure you're getting in all these streams of suggested similar videos.
Wow. Well, I didn't expect to come on here and get a business.
Oh no,
Show, but
I have no fucking clue. I'm a former lawyer, and I, I tend to talk more professional than I am, but all this is just talking out of my ass from people who have been on, and some
wow.
of them have been super successful, and then some of them just aren't having it, and so they feel, then they're like, well, these tutorial videos teaching me how to integrate all these things on TikToks have billions of views, and I'm like, is that shit real? Like, I've yet to see the engagement, so I don't know if there's actual engagement. Like, how do you know if something is a robot or just like a fake ass stream
I
number?
have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to come back on and tell us that because we want to know what Hallie Haas's characters are successful. And I'm looking on here and I'm looking at your screenshots on Instagram and
Oh,
I
cool.
see one with a blonde wig. What are
Oh
you
yeah.
doing there?
Blonde wig, short blonde wig.
Yeah, short blonde wig. It's like a
Short blonde
bob.
wig is my character. Rich white lady flees New York.
Yes.
So this was like right when all the like Manhattanites were getting out of the city because of quarantine. And I tutor, the upper class of the city. And
Do you really
so
in your day job you do that?
in my day job, that's my day job.
Oh,
So
oh,
I'm very familiar with this type. Of course, I amped it up a bit. And it was, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything because you got to watch the vid, but we
absolutely.
got my cousin who I live with ordered a giant freezer to our house, and this freezer, like huge, like you could get inside it. And the freezer plays a fun little role in that video.
Oh, cool. Cool. And then I see another one where you are in a shirt and tie, and I think your hair is back, so I don't know if you're
Oh yeah. That
playing a dude. Yeah. Working from home changed this bro's life. It's
yeah.
White Claw O'Clock, baby. I love that.
Yeah, this is the one character I did at Colby's apartment actually, because his roommate had this like hilarious work from home setup where he had his like second TV monitor up as like another computer monitor, and it was just like so goofy. And I was quarantining there for a little bit, so I brought
Give us
over
your
my
bro.
short
Yeah,
wig.
give us I want a taste of a couple of these. Give us your bro voice.
Oh, you want a taste of the bro? Okay,
Just
so
a little
bro is
taste.
little taste, yeah, yeah. So bro is kind of just like, oh man, I freaking love working from home, dude. Like I've got all the access to every seltzer I could ever need, and when when the mail girl comes around, I get to see her right through the window, etc.
And then give me a rich white lady who's flaming Manhattan.
Okay, rich white lady is like, oh, can you believe the virus has come to my city? The city that never sleeps? Ugh. Do you think that if we go to the lake for 3 months, it'll leave by then? That's kind of what the rich white lady is like.
I love it so much because it's totally relevant to the fact that you can surf all these, algorithm waves that I have no fucking idea how they work. Because people like Hallie Haas, I mean, their comedy is built to survive any pandemic.
That is what a nice vote of confidence. I
To,
appreciate
oh, I mean, we're going to be following you through because, we need the laugh and we know that you're going to be making us laugh during a pandemic and hopefully after it if I survive.
that. We are all hoping to survive, both for my comedy and hopefully.
Well, Hallie Haas, thank you so much. And in the meantime, you're Hallie K. Haas on Twitter, you're
Yeah,
Hallie Haas on Instagram, and you're HallieHaas.com. And it says here on HallieHaas.com that you're a lady jester.
I'm a lady jester. That's me.
Well, you have come as advertised. Hallie Haas, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Brian.